said that I'm always convinced with every emotion that I had. But you don't. It's so strange. Don't know what to say. Please go. Don't know what to say. Don't know what to say.
This came today. And this came today because earlier this week, I knew that tomorrow or Wednesday or Thursday, I would be hungry. And I made the decision that before that hunger came, I would have exactly what I needed to solve that. And that's the conversation today. At some point this week, you'll be hungry. You'll be willing to have a meal or desiring a meal. You'll be willing to cook. But if you go inside your refrigerator and nothing's inside of it, there's no produce, there's no protein, willingness won't matter. Desire does not simply prepare a meal or provide a meal. I think we do this with God constantly. We have a heart and a desire to be obedient. And we would say yes, but if God called tomorrow, are we in a position to say yes? Luke 12:35 says, "Be dressed for service and keep your lamps burning, as though you were waiting for your master to return from the wedding feast. Then you will be ready to open the door and let him in the moment he arrives and knocks." Now, that's not just awake, but that's ready to open. You can be awake and still spend 5 minutes looking for your clothes or whatever it is that you need to be ready for that moment. The question isn't whether you'd say yes. It's whether you can actually walk into that season tomorrow if God said so. It might be a job, it might be a move, leaving a relationship you know you need to leave. You're willing, but have you gotten yourself into a position where even your willingness is trapped? I went to open houses one Saturday, not to buy, just to look. I thought I was 12 months away from being ready. I was walking through and I felt God say, "This is your neighborhood." So I bought the land 7 days later. And the reason I could move on it, the reason I didn't have to say, "God, give me 6 more months," is because I wasn't preparing for a specific goal. I was just always living in a posture of financial stewardship. I wasn't looking or preparing to buy a house. I was just always ready. I don't prepare for a goal. I walk in the lifestyle of always being ready for whatever might come. And it's like the old saying, if you stay ready, you got to get ready. The servants in Luke 12 who slipped, they didn't become bad people. They just started living like the master was on their schedule. They calculated when he'd return and adjusted their preparedness for that estimate. And when he arrived outside their timeline, they weren't ready. If your preparedness has a start date or an end date or an expiration date, if you're only set up until the point when you expect the call, you've already decided how and when God can move in your life. What are you doing today when nobody's watching? When nothing's happening? Are the lamps burning when the house feels empty? Because that's the question. That's this conversation. Your private faithfulness in the waiting season is what God is actually watching. See, HelloFresh didn't show up today because I was hungry in this moment. It was because I made a decision before the hunger, when I wasn't in need, but I knew I was going to be. And I set myself up for that moment. This is not a food strategy, it's a life posture. The question Luke 12 is really asking is, are you ordering the groceries before you're starving? Or are you waiting until you're desperate and hoping something new or something of provision shows up? Great gifts mean great responsibility. The provision, it's on the way. The strategy is whether your life is set up to receive it and actually use it. God is not looking for willingness. He already knows you'd say yes. What he's watching is whether you're living like someone who expects him to show up. Whether your life is ordered around that reality, financially, relationally, spiritually. So when the knock comes, you're already at the door. Faith without works is dead. I think that fits right here. So my question is, are you prepared? Are you in a posture of preparedness?